I was bored of waiting on parts to fix my FPV drone and watching my friends at the flying club fly their own planes. Then I had an idea. The next day I'd bagged myself this brand new RTF RC P-51 Mustang 350 for just 150 Aussie dollars. It came ready to fly with everything I needed to scratch my plane itch, including a fuselage, the wings, tailplane, electronics, battery, receiver and the transmitter. But there was a problem. The transmitter that it came with was mode 1. I backed away in absolute shock and disgust, like the mode to elitist that I am, and I was determined to fix the problem. No, stop. Yes, me, look up here. Why don't you use that spare Radiomaster receiver and convert to ELRS? I mean, how hard can it be, right? All I have to do is update my transmitter to EdgeTX, pull the old receiver out, pop in a new one, and connect it using my Radiomaster micro module. Simple. That was my honest thought process at the time. Little did I know I'd spend over 6 hours sorting these issues out, and many hours more getting the plane ready to fly. So strap in and let me show you my journey to converting this plane to ELRS and ending with its maiden flight. The first step was to pull the stock 6-channel Aries receiver out of the fuselage. Then I got my new Radiomaster ER4 ELRS receiver and stuck it down to the Velcro the old receiver had been stuck to. Now I could bound my transmitter to the receiver using my Radiomaster micro module, but it was never going to be this easy. You see, my transmitter is an older model, the non-plus X9D Taranis, and for whatever reason I was getting an error trying to activate the ELRS script. So I did some research. Most people seem to be using EdgeTX with ELRS, and with more updates and what seemed to be fewer issues, I decided to make the switch from OpenTX to EdgeTX. Now, I had no clue on how to do this, so I did what any rational human would. First of all, I flashed new EdgeTX firmware on my Taranis. Then I had to download the new SD card content, which took 900,000 years because the SD card and the USB on my Taranis are about as fast as the Antonov 2 stall speed. And then all I had to do was turn it on. Wait a second. All I had to do was turn it on and oh shit. I did some more research. EdgeTX is open source and my transmitter is pretty old and only supports up to a certain version of EdgeTX, so it just meant I'd flashed the wrong firmware. Another 900,000 years later and I'd finally got EdgeTX running on my transmitter. Next I had to update my Radiomaster ER4 receiver and my micro module to the same ELRS version. For the sake of simplicity and to avoid repeating what's already been done, go and watch Joshua Bardell's video on how to do that. But for those curious, here's a few steps I took. I plugged in my receiver and waited around 1 minute until it went into Wi-Fi mode, indicated by the fast flashing LED. Then I downloaded and opened ELRS configurator, selected the latest release, set the correct target, which in my case was Radiomaster 2.4 GHz, then ER4RX. Selected Wi-Fi flashing method, left the other settings standard and entered my binding phrase, then clicked build. Once it had built the firmware file, I connected to the receiver's Wi-Fi network, waited for the window to pop up, navigated to the update tab, dragged the firmware file across to load it, then I clicked flash and prayed to the computer gods. Once it was done, I powered up my radio, created a new model, plugged in the battery and success at last. It was finally bound to my transmitter. Although it sounded like a game of Operation gone horribly wrong with the thing on life support. I'm pretty sure this beeping just meant either the ESC wasn't calibrated or the throttle channel wasn't idle. Either way, it was an easy fix. Next, I connected the landing gear, then plugged in all the electronics to test everything was working before I put the plane together. I made sure to center all the servos by unscrewing these and remounting the servo arms at 12 and 6 o'clock respectively. I attached a rudder linkage to the control horn, then stuck down the receiver into the fuselage. I slid the wing on, making sure not to trap any servo wires, and secured the wing with a screw and washer. Next, I slid the tailplane into the fuselage. I couldn't get the included screws to bite into the foam and wasn't satisfied with how wobbly the tailplane was. So I decided to Gorilla Glue all around the seams, and once it had cured it was really solid and felt much more sturdy. All there was left to do was put the back nut on, slide the propeller on, put the propeller hub on, then secure it all with a nut and tighten it down. For the maiden flight I put the floor bladed propeller on. I let it swap this out for the larger two-bladed prop since I get more thrust and slightly longer flight times. Speaking of which, it's that time of the video we've all been waiting for. The maiden flight. The following footage was all recorded by my friend Woz, so massive thanks to him. You can check out all his YouTube videos of RC planes here, and I'll also leave a watermark for his YouTube handle at the bottom left of the flight footage. I'm going to shut up now and let you all enjoy the maiden flight. I'll see you in the next video.
Trimmed out now.